Today you join us as we get some ploughing done. We have to try and turn this ship around. It's not been the best of starts for us. We have made some monumental decisions that have not really gone too well at all. Namely, buying the Rosselmesh Nova 330 yesterday, or in the last time I recorded, and then getting absolutely zero harvesting contracts. I'm still holding out for November. Otherwise, it's going to be a massive waste of money every month without fail. I'm also slightly regretting going for the plow that we're using instead of the subsoiler, the Lizard MT12, which would have been so much easier to use, but I decided to make it harder on myself even still. It's going to be a very, very interesting challenge, this one, to see just what I can do. It's obviously not been the best of starts, and I don't know. I feel like I may have made too many mistakes to sort of claw this around. We'll, of course, try our best. We will, of course, plow on, as it were, to try and get this to some form of a level that makes sense. But for now, we're just going to have to keep plowing and doing contracts that we have available to try and make the money. We weren't able to put any money into the loan last time, which means that the 100,000 that I've already paid off is somewhat meaningless because of the sheer fact that I've not been able to keep that pace up. While Zielonka boasts many, many fields, it unfortunately does not boast that much money per field because they are quite small. What I'm hoping is that in the process of doing this, we can, now that we've got all of the equipment I think we're going to need, I'm going to restrict myself to not buying any more. What I'm hoping that means is that we will be able to just focus on how much money it's costing us every month and then just make more money still. We don't have to worry about getting more money for more equipment now. We do need to worry about getting more money for things such as fertilizer and sprayer and things as the year goes on. I am nervous. I do constantly think that I may have made more mistakes than not, but I'm overall a little bit quietly confident as well. When you look at the facts of the point that we've got all of the equipment we really need now, we know how much money is going out of the bank every month. So as long as I can keep that up, we can just plow all of this into the loan. I'm still going to keep the 20 grand limit for now, but that may change and I may just start plowing it in every 10,000 because I don't think we're paying that much in interest rates, thankfully. The sooner we get the loan paid off, the sooner we can start buying fields and working the land ourselves, which will mean that we'll be able to make more money, which means that we can then just essentially wait for the 18 months to be up so that we can, we can go around and start actually buying and owning the equipment so we can make pure profit. However, that is a long way off, and Midamas has made a couple of miscalculations up until this point. Luckily, even though we're not using the Lizard MT, which is a fantastic plow, I will probably upgrade to that later on when we can get a bigger, better tractor once the lease has finally run out. It doesn't take that long because the fields aren't that big. And as long as we keep thinking of that and thinking of the fact that it's not going to take that long and we can make really nice, neat fields with these plows, I'm generally not going to complain or be that worried. I honestly think we'll be somewhat fine. But as always with a challenge run like this, there is a large mix of emotions and I'm going through all of them. Yesterday really was a disaster and I genuinely do feel quite deflated by it because fast forwarding a month and seeing literally no contracts because the AI has done all of them is more than a little bit disheartening, I'm not going to lie. But we vibe, we continue, This little challenger is doing us absolutely proud. And we're making good progress. And hopefully, since we're doing some ploughing contracts, we'll get some stone picking. Stone picking does tend to pay quite well. We've always got the wood transport and the dead wood, so that's probably what our winters are pretty much going to consist of. We'll do one then the other, then one then the other. We will obviously be trying to save as much of the dead wood for us as possible. If I'd have been smarter, again, I don't want to extend the leasing period before I'm able to do anything with it, but if I'd have been smarter, I would have probably not stopped halfway because the line did. I would have probably got a wood chipper to make more money from those deadwood contracts, but alas, I'm holding myself true. I'm not going to go for any new equipment or anything now because it would be silly. It would be really, really not the smartest play if I was to do that. So we're not going to bother. I feel like I've already done this line. Interesting. We have already done this line. I don't know why it didn't grey it out, but here we are. Why not make things take just that little bit longer? Sometimes the GPS can be a little bit finicky, as most things with this game can. You never have a solid game bug without this one. That's better. That's gone grey now. I don't know why it didn't before. I don't know if it's because the plough itself was turning, but that was a little odd. Again, we're going to go all the way across here, and then we can do the cross sections as well. Get the most out of it. We do love a nice, neat line. Also, just for clarification's sake, obviously I do record these before uploading them a couple of days. So when I say last night, it's purely because I recorded last night, even though you've only seen the video on Wednesday. Obviously Friday's video. I will be again recording tomorrow, which will be Thursday or Monday, because I'm going out this weekend and it's going to be a good time. If you are going to FarmCon, please do let me know. Would love to see you there if you're going to go. I am looking at booking everything for FarmCon this weekend, so tomorrow, if you're watching this video on time of release. Very, very excited about that. Almost excited as turning this playthrough around and starting to make some real progress. Obviously, the contracts that we want to look for, the contract we always look for on this map is going to be the one for field 54. 54 is going to be the big money earner, and I think I would probably look at saving up and getting that field first for the big influx of cash. Of course, another tactic is to get all of the smaller ones, which on the original Zielonka on 22 would be very, very viable considering how cheap the fields were. Not so much the case on this one. So, I don't know. It might be worthwhile getting a piece of land with sheds and stuff on it and putting down some generators almost immediately when I'm able. But that would mean saving up around 200 grand, which is probably about as much as field 51, or 54. So I really don't know. I am hypothesizing and theorizing about what I want to see and what I want to do when I'm not really in a position to be right now. We are 3 months in, paid off 100 grand in those 3 months, which isn't too bad at all. We've got equipment that we are not using, on top of also buying the container, fuel container, or the sprayer container. I'm tempted to keep it because it means eventually when we do look to expand and get a different tractor, which has hopefully got a 3-pointer on it, I'll have that extra capacity, which means I can get more done quickly. I won't have to keep stopping for refills and stuff, so it doesn't really make sense to lose money on something if I can later. Unless we get in a real pickle. If we get in a real pickle where we're, you know, running low to the ground on funds or whatever, then selling it's good for that. But I would prefer to not have to do that if I can. Have another field. Hasn't taken us very long at all. We're about 40% through because obviously we're only doing the up and downs right now. Naturally, yes, I would have done already if we had the Lizard MT. But having said that, as good as the Lizard MT is, its horsepower requirement would mean I'd only be able to use the 6-meter anyway. So it would be good, but I still wouldn't be able to get them done amazingly quickly. And even then, we've only got 225 horses, so 260 would be a real push. We might not have been able to use it, thinking about it. We might have been stuck with this one after all. But again, I was saying how we could have got the Duets, the Agro Star, the 6.8 or the 8.1, whichever one it is, I can't remember. She's got 250 horses. That would have probably pulled it, maybe. Or now they've also introduced the Belmont, the Vultra Belmont, which would have been perfect, I think. A little light. There's a little light on the old Collaroo, but would have worked. However, no use crying over spilt milk there. It is what it is. We have done what we have done. We have got the tractor that we have got. We are trying to work our way through. We're on 13,999 because the interest has just gone out. Meaning we are looking worse for wear. Need these to start paying us some pennies. I haven't even looked at the repair costs. That's going to be another thing to factor in. Are we going to be okay, chat? What do you reckon? Do you think we'll be fine? Because you can colour me concerned. Line her up. Wait for the slowest turning mechanism in the world. She is looking good though. She does sound good as well. Like she's a good sounding engine in the Challenger. Great little workhorse. As much as I say I would probably have chosen a different tractor if I was to do this again. I mean, she hasn't exactly done too bad. And I will be interested to see what other maps come out. I'm currently doing a Calmston playthrough, which is just a playthrough. There is a bug where it will start you with starting equipment if you're trying from scratch, which isn't ideal. One of the main reasons why I didn't just start a new playthrough, because we barely got this one started. But if a new map comes out that looks interesting, I may do. There's the 4X one that came out, but no, it's not grabbed me. Let's see what they've got in store. We shall see what they have in store. Almost at the other side's headlands. And each end headlands will not take very long to do at all. It's great. I'm like, oh, you know, maybe if I leave it till 10, if I leave it till 10k, then might be okay. I could start paying some off, and then immediately, the game's like, nah, mate, what are you on about? What are you on about? Absolute nightmare. Taking us about 20-ish minutes to get this done. Not too bad at all. It'll be about half hour by the time we're done. The issue is, right, I could like sell this and then lease out the Lizard, but that would mean it would add an extra month on, and I've already said I don't want to do that, so we're going to stick with it. We're going to stick with it. We're going to grit through. I don't think there's going to be too many ploughing contracts in November. There might be a few more in end of November, beginning of December, maybe. The problem is, and it's something that didn't used to happen as much. I mean, it would happen because of a different reason, I think is more accurate. And that is that you get a countdown timer, and at the end of the month, the contracts go. They disappear regardless. And I can't help but feel, especially with your harvesting contracts and ploughing contracts and that if it's still the season for it, some of them, they should be more adaptive. So, like, if we're going into November to December, or from December to January, then a ploughing contract and a cultivating contract should carry over more times than not. They've not been done. And a harvesting contract, you get 2 months to harvest a contract, right? You get 2 months of harvest season. Why do you only get 1 month to harvest it as a contract? I don't understand what they're doing. And again, I am sorry about the yawns, guys. I am hoping at some point to get an air purifier in here, because I'm downstairs in my front room, but I've sectioned the front room and the dining room off, so I'm technically in the dining room. It's a very enclosed space. I've got thermal curtains on one side, I've got thermal curtains on the other to try and keep the sound in and everything. When I'm looking after the doggos, it stops them barking because they can't see me. But during the winter, when you have the heating on, it gets so stuffy in here. The air quality goes down, and so my body's just like yawns a lot to try and get as much oxygen as possible. And it's too cold to just go, oh yeah, no, I'll open the window. It's 4 degrees outside. So I reckon if I can get an air purifier and put it on the desk somewhere and just plug it in, that will hopefully solve a lot of the problems. Put it on the desk, on the cupboard behind me or something. That's a problem for another day. Right now, we've got the issue of ploughing. %83%, because the game's percentages for doing task make absolutely 0 sense whatsoever. Hydration is key. So 1 or 2 more passes down here now. Thinking 1, and then the edges. And for all that work, we're getting like $1,000. But it already looks amazing. And then once we cross it off, annoyingly, because it's a contract, we're not going to be able to cross it all off. Will stop us from finishing it. But we're able to make it look somewhat neater than it has been. And that's that end done. That ground deformation, though. That is some work right there. Turn and switch, turn and switch. I like the fact they've kept Erlengrat as the destination. I haven't noticed that before. Obviously, Erlengrat was a map in 22. I do wonder if that'll be the map that was blurred out. Like, I think a lot of people are saying, like, Elm Creek or whatever, but Elm Creek was rinsed, and Erlengrat would make the most sense since it's linked to Zielonka. So if they're going to bring a second map back remastered, I think Erlengrat would actually make the most sense out of all of them. And it was a good little map. It was a pretty little map. It did all right. Kept me entertained for a little bit. It would be better now as well. They've got the wood transport and deadwood contracts as standard, because from what I remember about Erlengrat, there was like, it was split in half. So half the top half of the map was arable. There was a fair few arable fields, and then the bottom half was all forestry. But you never got any contracts for the forestry, because why would you? Right? Why would you get contracts for forestry when it was part of a DLC? It's always going to be part of the DLC. It was my biggest problem with 22 in general, that it didn't take the missions and the contracts, add them in the game if you bought the DLC. Bit of a shame. Almost finished this one, look. Turn it round. We in? It's about 98%. And there we go. Collect the money. So the good news is that the cultivating contracts we've got will be done quickly. Plowing might take a little bit of time, but at least that puts us back on 16. I do want to get to 20k just for now before I start paying it off again. 75 being a much smaller field will make this a lot easier to get. Well, helps that it is scanning us perfectly, so I don't think this should take anywhere near as long as last time, and then we can start on cultivating. And cultivating will definitely not take us as long and make us a lot of money fairly quickly. It is a shame that it is not giving us the harvesting contracts that I want, But what are you going to do? There are a lot of harvesting contracts there, but there's things like green beans and stuff, which are great until you take into account the leasing costs of those harvesters. Just another grand or so should take us to 17, 18,000. Then, like I say, I think we've got another 4 or 5 grand locked up in the cultivators. So, more of those that we get through, the better. You guys will have to, like, rate my ploughing or something. Especially in such a tight, small field as this one. So for those of you that aren't quick at math, with us taking the 18-month contract out, the last 18-month leasing contract out, the last one we did was in September, which means we are not going to be able to take out or buy any pieces of equipment until those have all been returned in March of year 3. March of year 3 is what we're looking for. We are currently in October of year 1. It's a long time to stick to equipment, and I really hope I've got the right stuff. The plow we didn't lease, we bought, but since I can't buy anything, and again, the Lizard MT is too heavy, requires too much power, can't run it. We'd be running it, but we'd be running it at like 3 kilometers per hour, and nobody wants that. That wouldn't speed us up at all. That would very much have the opposite effect of speeding us up. We're already 20% in. And we go. Alrighty then. Slowly but surely working our way through. Say slowly, we're already a third there. Again, I've said it already numerous times in this video, but one of the best things about Zielonka, so many fields to just keep you busy all the time. Last thing you need on a run like this is being unable to get the contracts that you need in order to make some real progress. So even though they're not paying that much, the sheer volume of them means we're going to be busy for a very long time. Be plenty to keep us going. And obviously once we're in the cultivator, they'll be done in a cinch, which is also a massive win. We're not going as mad with the neatness because it stops you halfway anyway. But this is a more efficient way of doing it with your traditional plows. Like, it's not just because I don't like it looking a mess. Like, by the time you've turned around, if you do it at the right time, it is much more efficient to do it this way. What would be cool, actually, is if you got a quality bonus. Right? Now, I know they're bringing precision farming back, which kind of adds that, like if your soil quality and everything is good or whatever. But like, something for contracts, if you do a contract, well, if you do a contract to a high standard, right? So if you have very little marks left, or if you've followed the GPS and you've left nice neat lines, the amount of time you took to complete it, stuff like that, if it all went in, you got like a quality bonus. So this costing me 1,000, or this is costing them 1,200. I do it to a great standard. This would also encourage you to, if they allowed you the option, say, I have finished the contract, do you want to finish the field? If you do and you do it to the right standard or whatever, then you get a quality bonus and you get paid a little more. I think that would be a really cool idea. So yeah, we're getting paid 1,200 for this. Say I decide to do the rest of the field, I get another 500 on top bonus. For partial completion, I have stream loose cards on stream that mean that I have to cancel a contract sometimes. Unfortunately, if you cancel it, you just get nothing. You don't have anything taken away unless you've royally messed up. But you don't get anything at all. So you could have spent 2 hours on a contract and have to give up for whatever reason, have to stop it, you run out of time. Whatever you're doing, whatever the problem is, you complete that contract or you cancel that contract, you don't get anything at all. Why not give us part payment? I think part payment would be a great addition. Especially on things like multiplayer, right? Especially on things like multiplayer where you have one person finish it and then somebody else do it or whatever. I don't know. I just think more options are a good option. Also, I did see today, as of recording this video, they've got a new finance mod out. I'm going to be checking that out for stream, because if that does what I want it to, we may be doing a new series. Because if loans work better, we'll either restart this series and I'll do it over again, or we'll do a different map. We'll do the 4x map or something. Because if the finance mod actually does look at the way loans are done, and they make it so that loans are paid out properly, and it's not just interest that you pay every month. If you pay interest, it comes off of it. So it pays it off over time, and if you can take out a loan for a specific amount of time, I think that would be really cool, because I could set it up where we've got 1 million in debt and it takes off 50 grand every month. How would that takes it off every hour or whatever? If we set it so it takes 50 grand every month, that means I have to have £50,000 in my possession by the end of the month. Otherwise, the loan doesn't get paid. And I think that would add a real layer of tension. Keep all the other rules and everything the same. But that would be dope. Like I say, I don't know what the finance mod is, but I will have a look at it. If that's what it does, if it adds that layer of complexity or any layer of complexity, I may look at restarting this with that on to make the loans more realistic. It might not do that at all. It might not do anything with finance. It might just show you more detailed where the finances is going, in which case, cool, I'll have it, but it won't warrant starting a new save. We'll see. Yep. Lengthways, and we can do the across. Go and grab the cultivator and get some of that done. Pay some more loan off and turn this ship around. I hope. Turn this ship around. I hope. With the ground deformation, I'm not going to lie, this looks like a mess. Like somebody's made a right old ash of this. That's 2 for this side, and then we can go down to the bottom of the field and get them done as well. Certainly doesn't look very much like a masterpiece, does it? And renders are something else. Wait for it to switch over. Do the same again at this end. I don't think this end has many. Well, I mean, it's got to have as many, but it doesn't feel like it. 93 and counting. So very close. Who doesn't love a ton of ploughing? Well, that's less than good. Getting stuck in the ditch. We get to 99. Yeah, we're going to get to 100 before we get to the end of this road. Yes, we are. Beautiful. Let's get paid. And then let's get back to base. We're at 17. So we might actually break the 20k. I might actually be able to pay some money off for the first time in like 2 or 3 episodes. Right then. First cultivating job of the day. I'll have to rescan the field because this one is a little weird. Lower it down. And away we go. Annoyingly, it keeps trying to hire an AI worker whenever I do this, and I don't quite know why. I don't know whether it's because the button's double pressing, which it might be. You stick it on this is steering, it automatically fires the worker, which is at least good, so it's only costing you £1 over many, many, many pounds. We like the Prolander. The Prolander does make things a lot easier. It's 7.5 meters wide, which on Zielonka is massive. Plenty big enough. Plenty big enough to get everything done. Fortunately, because cultivating is so much easier than plowing, you do get quite a lot less money for doing the contracts, which kind of sucks. You don't get anywhere near as much. But hey, money is money, and I'm all about that life. We've got 62 and 79. Both are fairly easy to get to from here. It's straight across the side. It almost looks like... I don't know. I know they're guidelines, and I know that they are essentially there. The wheels line up. Like when you got a wider end on this, it's quite funny. Makes me giggle quite a lot. Guess we'll take this bit at the end out first. For realism's sake. All. I guess this is just like 2 big headlands and then a little bit in the middle. Readjustment, always important. Yep, in we go again, look. Really is the oddest shaped field. Works really well when you merge them all, and that's something I'm looking forward to doing on this map especially. It's what we did on the community farm when we had it on 22. Is we took all these fields and we merged them all together and made just like one big section field, and we were able to get a lot of crops going. We were able to get just a lot of everything going in general, and it worked really, really well. So when we get to that point, possibly maybe never, I am very excited to start being a bit more creative with it and seeing where we can take this map. At least this is a lot quicker to get through them than the ploughing. After the 18 months, hopefully we've got a nice bit of money saved up so we can buy some new equipment. But we're going to have to basically return all the equipment first. So I'm really hoping we've got some money saved up by that. Like, if by those 18 months we can have got the loan paid off at least, we can start having our own fields, and that means that we can start making our own produce, which means we can start saving the money up. Plastic albeit. Don't give up on me now. Come on, there you go. Right, field 62 and 79. Let's go. We have made it to field 62 just about, and in true Zero to Hero style, more leasing wages, payments, whatever you want to call them, have come out. So we're still quite far away from getting this 20k to be able to pay off another 5 grand off of the loan and actually start making another dent on our way to the second 100,000 paid off. This is obviously a killer and is quite frustrating, but it's fine. This is a fairly long but short field. We've got 79 down at the bottom as well. I am determined to pay off 5,000 this episode. Determined to tell you. Of course, by the look of it, my tractor might have other ideas. Come on, little challenger. I know it's a hilly. I know it's the hilly, but you got this. Straight down, another up. Then we've got like half a lane to do, which is going to be slightly frustrating, but not too bad at all. Like I say, these little fields do not take long to cultivate. They definitely take an age to plough, but they don't take that long to cultivate. Straight down we go. Is it going to be half a lane? Might be a bit more than that. Might be a full, just under a full lane on the way back. Made to measure, me ode. Made to measure. What it's all about. We can get up this hill. Come on. Get up the hill. I believe in you. Got this, little challenger, I believe. Again, I'm not too concerned by that little bit left there. And then straight down that away to get to field 79. Yay. 99. 100. There you go. Nailed it. That has put us over 20k. That has put us over 20k. Let's go. Let me pay off some of that finance. Let me do this. First one I paid off in a while. There you go. We're down to 890,000. And I think we're going to leave it on a high note. So we've got one cultivating contract left. I don't know whether we've got any more coming through. Luke. We have not. We've got quite a few fertilizing contracts we can take for next time. We have got more ploughing contracts coming through, and they're big boys, them ones. And then we've got some spraying, which we can do as well. So we might do the fertilizing and the spraying next. We should really utilize the ploughing, but I don't really want to. But needs must. So we'll do the fertilizing next time. We will do the spraying next time, and then we will do the ploughing if they're still there. We're on October 1st. So we've still got three and a bit days left of October. Let me know if you think we can turn this ship around. I'm feeling very, very much better that we have, you know, we've paid off some of the loan today at least. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, whether you think we're going to be able to turn this around. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.